Raw milk advocates are saying they're getting a raw deal. I'm Bill Baker, and this is Dairyline, an integral part of dairy business communications. But the National Milk Producers Federation thinks differently and says the feds need to hold fast in defense of food safety. We'll hear from National Milk's Chris Galen about that next.
Eureka!
What is it?
The missing link. How to turn my healthy weaned calves into more profitable cows.
But what is it?
AmpliCalf Grower. Calves' rumens aren't ready for a high forage diet after weaning. They need accessible nutrients for optimal growth and rumen development. It's the missing link between a healthy calf and a high-producing cow.
So it's the link between wise calf feeding and more profit.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Contact your Land O'Lakes Purina feed dealer today and learn how your calves can grow more after weaning and achieve more optimal rumen development with AmpliCalf Grower.
Chris, National Milk is urging the Food and Drug Administration to defend laws against raw milk sales.
Yes, a group of raw milk supporters, including mothers who want to feed it to their children, rallied Tuesday at the headquarters of the Food and Drug Administration in suburban Washington. And so we issued our own statement, Bill, urging the FDA to stand fast and to enforce the laws on the books, primarily the one that says that you cannot sell raw milk interstate. More than 24 states allow some form of raw milk sales or consumption within states, but there is an FDA ban on the interstate sales of raw milk, and we're urging the FDA to continue standing fast and enforcing that because, as you mentioned, we're seeing more and more pressure for states as well as the federal government to weaken the raw milk laws. This is really a matter of public health and safety because we do have the means to protect the public from potential pathogens in raw milk. And when that doesn't happen, there's plenty of evidence that some people can become very, very sick, in particular children. And so one of the ironies of the rally Tuesday is that you had mothers who said they wanted to provide this product to their kids when we know that kids are particularly vulnerable to pathogens like E. coli and Campylobacter and Salmonella.
So what do you think the FDA is going to do about this, and what have they done?
Well, I think what's happened is that the FDA has basically been hearing from this vocal minority that's really advocating for looser restrictions or regulations on the sales and distribution of raw milk, and they're not hearing enough from the public health side, and the dairy industry has long supported public health as a paramount concern. That's why we've had pasteurization laws in place dating back almost 100 years now. But unfortunately, there's been some weakening of this, mostly at the state level. But the really concerning thing here is if the FDA weakens its resolve at the federal level to go after lawbreakers who are moving this product across state lines. That's a really big warning sign, and so we're trying to get the FDA to buck up here and enforce the laws on the books.
Thanks, Chris. That's Chris Galen, Senior Vice President of Communications. This update brought to you by the National Milk Producers Federation.
Feeding cottonseed in your dairy ration has never been more important. Feeding cottonseed in your dairy ration has never been easier. Yes, cottonseed now has more than great energy and protein benefits for your cows. Cottonseed now has a great website for producers. Introducing the Cottonseed Marketplace. Give it a click and follow the instructions, and you'll soon have the best seed at the best price.
To get the most out of your feed, just add cottonseed.
Find it online and save some time at wholecottonseed.com.
Time now for the Downs O'Neill Dairy Futures Report.
Yesterday in the dairy markets, December Class 3 was up 9 to 17.72. February was down 5 to 16.45. And April was unchanged at 16.50. And the Jan to June pack down 2 to 16.54.
For all of your hedging needs, call the Downs O'Neill Dairy Brokers at 1-800-231-3089. Some activity yesterday in the spot markets. Butter was down 1/4 cent to $1.87 3/4 on 4 trades and 2 offers remaining. Block cheese picked up 1 1/4 yesterday, now trading at $1.79 1/4 on 1 lone trade. The barrels were up 4 cents yesterday to $1.82 on 3 bids. California's October 4A milk price is $18.29 per hundredweight. That's down $1 from September, but $1.64 more than October of last year. The October 4B milk price is $15.78 per hundredweight. That's down 55 cents from September, but 12 cents more than a year ago. Federal order October Class 2, 3, and 4 prices will be announced tomorrow morning. Be sure to check back with us on Dairyline and and at dairyline.com for those prices. Tomorrow, we'll check in with Dairy Profit Weekly editor Dave Natzke. I'm Bill Baker. Listen for that here on
America's Dairy Line.
Time now for a reproductive moment with Select Sires' Ray Niebel. This program brought to you by Select Sires. Ray, we continue to talk about the Select Detect system, and let's talk about the use of this system with heifers.
That's a good point. Heifers are usually harder to, they show estrus to a greater intensity and display, but there's just no one around the heifers as often as it would be lactating cows. Lactating cows, milking cows, you've got milking time 2 or 3 times a day. You've got the feeding of the cows. There seems to be someone there all the time, not necessarily looking for estrus, but around them at least. In heifers, it's usually away from the main facility. Someone goes out there and feeds heifers, but there's usually for most of the day there's no one there. We've had a number of systems that have been put in exclusively for heifers, and the largest one being a facility in Indiana that has 1,000 heifers. And again, we have a small one that was put in just recently in Iowa that has 150. We even have a smaller one in Wisconsin that has only 45 heifers. They also have a system for the cows, but they have a system for the heifers that's on another farm that has only 45 heifers. So the heifers, to this point, ranges from 1,000 heifer operation all the way down to 45 heifers.
Now, it's my understanding you say you launched this last year at Expo, so we're going on about a year now. Is that right?
That's correct, and it's going to be interesting. We're coming out with an app that you can use on your iPhone or iPad, and that's going to be really exciting. We have just started with this app where we have it. I have it on my iPad. My counterpart in Texas, who does the Western United States, King Smith, has it on his iPhone, and we've put it out to producers, testing it with a limited number of producers before Expo. But so you have your phone with you. You press the app. It brings up the high activity list, the low activity list, and the expected heat list. And you could I can check herds in Wisconsin, Nebraska, Virginia, Ohio. I mean, we've got herds all over the country that we have the app on right now that actually before breakfast this morning I was checking to see, and just making sure how these herds are working, the number of cows and heat. But we see it for producers, for herdsmen, for AI technicians, for our AI technicians to know, do they need to go to that herd today? Because is there any cows that they're going to breed? And again, how many cows are going to be there that should be bred today? So this app is by far the newest technology and should be a really big hit with a lot of people.
Thanks, Ray. More next week with Ray Niebel, Senior Reproductive Management Specialist at Select Sires. And this weekly reproductive moment has been brought to you by Select Sires.
Select Sire employees are passionate about helping dairy producers succeed in their reproductive programs. Your success is their passion. It's why Select Sires is so excited about Select Detect, a precision reproductive management tool that Ohio dairy producer Steve Busher says is well worth the price.
While it is a significant investment, we think of it in terms of being a piece of equipment that works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is pretty easy to understand how the payback could be significant.
Learn more at selectsires.com.
The September dairy products report was released this week with butter output at 137.6 million pounds. That's up 3.5% from August and 21% above a year ago. Total cheese output was 867.3 million pounds. That's down 0.2% from August and 0.6% below a year ago. Total American cheese was down 3.2% from August and 4.2% below a year ago, while cheddar output was down 2.6% from August and 3% below a year ago. And recapping yesterday's cash markets, butter was down 1/4 cent to $1.87 3/4 on 4 trades and 2 offers. Block cheese was up 1 1/4 cents to $1.79 1/4 on 1 trade, and the barrels were up 4 cents to $1.82 on 3 bids. Tomorrow we'll check in with Dairy Profit Weekly editor Dave Natzke, and Dr. Mike Hutchins has his weekly Feed Fact segment in our second half. That's today's Dairy News. I'm Bill Baker, and this is
America's Dairy Line.